Just because you're a good person doesn't mean your sister is. That's why we take the initiative to see how new games do in the video game market. Kero Blaster is the sister game to Cave Story, or something like that. It's made by Studio Pixel and it's been translated to English and sold through Playism. Does it live up to the same standards that Cave Story had? We'll see. I haven't been able to read the backstory of this game, but as you can see, you play as a frog with a blaster. Makes sense. It doesn't have that non-linear quality that Cave Story had. You complete the levels sequentially. You collect coins which you use to upgrade your weapons at the shop, you fight the boss at the end of a level, and you acquire a new weapon or item. The weapons you obtain do have their own purpose. The blaster is a high DPS weapon, the wave gun has a wider spread, the bubbles bounce around and have an arc to them, and the flamethrower is used for melting ice blocks. I like how you can move back and forth while firing in one direction, but at the same time, I don't like how you can't aim up while firing. In both cases, you have to stop firing to aim somewhere else. So it's good and bad. I think you just need to get used to it. The game also gives you a limited amount of lives, and the way it's handled is kind of weird. You have a checkpoint system that saves your progress every time you enter a new section of a level. If you lose all your lives, you restart from the beginning of the level, but you keep all your upgrades and coins, so if you're having problems with the game, you can eventually grind your way through it. So the game is much more simpler than Cave Story, and it's also much shorter. That is, if you want to make the comparison. It's an okay game in itself, and it feels much like the side-scrollers from a 16-bit console. It doesn't seem to offer much of anything else, and I think its biggest strength is just its association. It's made by the same developer who made Cave Story, so if you're expecting a game of the same caliber as Cave Story, you'll probably be disappointed. With that in mind, how will this game do in the video game market? As far as I can tell, there's barely any coverage for this game. A quick search on YouTube shows videos barely getting any hits, so I don't think many people even know this game exists. And without this knowledge, no one can do their reviews or let's plays, and this obscurity snowballs the farther away we get past the release date. None of the major sites have mentioned this game, none of the big-name YouTubers have mentioned this either, at least at the time this video was made. So unless these people mention something in the next few weeks, I'd say this game will die in this time frame. After a few months, not a whole lot will change. Aside from its lack of publicity, Kero Blaster has paywalls right off the bat. Cave Story was free, there were paid versions later on, but for the original version, you went to the developer's website and you downloaded the game. Kero Blaster is not free, and it's not available through the usual channels like Steam, GOG, Origin, Desera, so on and so forth. The English version is available on Playism. It's a site similar to GOG, but they specialize in Japanese indie games, and they even translate the games to English, and vice versa for Western games. Very few people have actually heard of Playism, so the distribution platform it's on really doesn't help too much. I don't think this game will have much success in the market. It had a minimal amount of hype behind it, if any. It has more barriers to access the game. You can't just post the link on a forum and have people download it straight away and play it. It has simpler mechanics compared to Cave Story, and arguably inferior mechanics. I don't see this going anywhere, but that's not to say it's a bad game. If you can be bothered to make an account on Playism, you can have it for $8. For the amount of content you get, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe you can buy it if you played the free version of Cave Story and you want to support the developer based on that. In any case, we'll come back to this game in a few months. Thanks for watching.